Welcome to Listertainment, the channel with the most deceptive name in all of YouTube. Hey guys, today we'll see 3 fighters who decided to do one of the things that you are never supposed to do in a fight, and that is turn your back. This rule is so ingrained in the sport that if you turn your back in a fight repeatedly, you will get disqualified because you might be using it as a strategy to avoid getting hit in the front of your body, which is the only place where you are able to get hit. Also, you might be too weak to be in the fight and are turning your back on instinct since you can no longer defend yourself, and thus the fight needs to be stopped. Also, there is the fact that it's extremely dangerous to get hit in the back of the head, so this rule is there to protect the fighters. These events were actually all done by mistake. If you happen to enjoy this video, please give it a like so we can satisfy the like-loving slut that is the algorithm, and subscribe down below. Also, make sure to turn on those notifications. Let's get started. Maxi Hughes became the British lightweight champion in March of this year after beating Highland Jr. via a TKO in the 8th round of their fight, but the victory came by way of a very controversial punch.
To low levels, the light is flashing potentially. Oh, he's hurt him again. He's turned.
But before we get to that though, Hughes basically came out of nowhere to win this title since he was struggling to win important fights last year. But after beating Joan O'Carroll in an upset last year, his stock started to rise.
Good uppercut there from Hughes, a lovely shot to exchange there on both.
Maxi!
There you go.
In this fight, Hughes dominated the initial rounds after outworking Highland through much of those rounds, and Highland was just unable to find his range.
Up to the possible counters.
Good roll there from Hughes just a second ago. Good body shot landed. His patient, so he'll wait. See there, he blocks him.
Highland did have some good moments in the 5th, landing a big shot that seemed to have started to turn things around.
To strengthen, they've definitely gone about it in that way. Highland, your appetite and your desire on the big night with your tech.
But once the 6th round started though, Hughes went back to work and hurt Highland, who had to work hard to get out of that round on his feet.
Body shot there, and another one.
Some crunching shots there from Hughes, and look at him trying to work off the...
By a 4 or 5 punch.
The 8th was where the problems began and ended as Highland got caught with a great body shot that hurt him a ton and made him almost go down. But he never touched the canvas. Initially, the referee made it seem like he was going to count, pointing Hughes to the neutral corner. But then he just waved the fight back on, but at this point Highland had already turned his back and was walking away.
Potentially. Oh, he's hurt him again. He's turned away. This time, oh! Huge right hand.
Of course, Hughes chased after Highland, landing a brutal headshot that put him down for the count. Highland was able to beat the count, getting up at 9, but the ref waved the fight off. This was of course completely the referee's fault, since he said to stop boxing and told Hughes to back off to the neutral corner, signaling either a knockdown or an 8 count. But he did neither. Instead, he restarted the fight after seeing Highland recover. The punch was completely legal since it landed on the side of the face, and the referee said to restart, but nevertheless, it's just a crappy way to win or lose a fight. Last year in May, the alpha ginger Spike Carlisle was making his 2nd trip to the octagon in a very rare planned catchweight fight. He was set to fight Billy Quarantillo, who was actually teammates with a guy he had just beat a couple months back, Elon Cruz. Quarantine said that he was taking the fight as normal, but there is no doubt that he would love to get some revenge. The fight started with Spike being extremely aggressive, rushing across the octagon to try and land a kick.
Look at this! This fight clock is brought to you by Modelo.
Most of the fight took place on the ground, as Spike tried to take it there the most, but they are both extremely comfortable fighting on the ground. Spike has a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, while Quarantillo has a black belt in the discipline. At the end of round 1, Spike had top control, but for some reason right before the end of the round, he just got up and started walking to his corner, and that's when he got clocked.
Well, we're gonna find out. Posture's up, or are we? And now Carlisle backs off. How about this?
So since the end of the round was so close, Quarantillo didn't have a chance to finish him off, but he knocked him down with that surprise punch. I don't know why Spike turned his back, because the corners were yelling out how much time was left, and he had just heard the 10-second warning. Maybe he was counting down in his head, but that doesn't explain it fully since he never heard the horn. The rest of the fight continued to be just as tough, with both fighters going at it like crazy, but the fight had changed sides. Spike was given round 1 by all the judges, but it seemed that after that punch, the momentum changed and Quarantillo started taking control and was awarded both the second and third round by the judges, giving him the win and avenging his teammate. It wasn't a full knockout, but it did some serious damage since Quarantillo was able to get in a ton of submission attempts, although Spike was able to escape every single one. This fight was absolutely insane for 2 reasons. Of course, the first one is the fact that Groenhardt was able to win his fight against Gregori via a knockout, but that was only after Gregori had turned his back for no good reason.
Who won round 1, according to all 5 judges. Oh my! Defend yourself at all times!
The fight was right in the middle of the second round, and the referee did not even come close to stepping in, so there was no good reason to turn your back. Apparently, Gregorian's trainer, Nicky Hemmers, said that his fighter turned around due to a cut, but you never turn your back unless the referee calls a stop to the action. He got caught with a brutal punch that completely put him out, and the refs just stopped the fight right there with no count needed. I wonder if the knee that seemed to cause the cut actually disoriented Gregorian, leading him to turn his back. Now let's get this straight, Groenhardt did nothing wrong here. He just went after the fighter since the referee never told him to stop or put a stop to the action. He just continued on in order to win the fight. But some of the idiotic fans don't understand the rules, so 2 of them got pissed, and they went into the ring and attacked Groenhardt.
We've got to fight the ring! People are attacking Murdo Groenhardt! It's insanity!
The 2 fans ultimately got no charges brought against them, but they were banned from attending any Glory event for life. Groenhardt actually got punched cleanly a couple of times before the guys were pulled away. In the end, Groenhardt said he would do the same thing again if it happened, because for him, the number 1 rule is to never turn your back. He gladly gave Gregorian a rematch, and guess what? Gregorian actually won via TKO in the first round, although the stoppage seemed premature.
It's in survival mode right now. We may have a new champ in the making. Gregorian hitting the champ.
Although none of these guys actually got hit in the back of the head, they still got knocked down because they were not expecting the hit at all and weren't protecting themselves. It just happens. Thanks for watching this video. See you next time.